Good morning. How are you? Welcome into our regular Wednesday meetup, our little support session here that we do live. My name's Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button right away so you get notifications when we go live in the future. I will give you a little heads up. This may be a shorter than usual session. I've somehow managed to injure my right eye. It hurts like hell, and I'm really struggling to look at the screen. So I will do my very best. Your job is to keep me fed with really thought-provoking and interesting questions, and that maybe will distract me from the excruciating pain. But I'll do my best. So welcome, everyone. Let's say hello to a few people who are here. Janet was in nice and early. Hi, Janet. Lord Farquhar is here. Tracy Kinsell. Welcome, Tracy KB. We have Lindsay here in Toronto. Lots going on in Toronto, Canada at the moment, isn't there? We got Jan here in Perth. Gop is in North Carolina. Rhubarb is here as well. Rhubarb, is it true that man is like a little baby, always close to the breast or close to the bottle? Well, yeah, if they're lucky, depending on how you look at it. Hi to Philip Lane. Welcome in, Philip. Christian here as well. Angela is in Australia. Kathy is in Florida. And Miko from Oslo. Kelly is in England. Whereabouts in England are you from, Kelly? And Jessica in New Mexico, 2 weeks sober. Fantastic. Anita from Massachusetts. Oh, they're all in. Right. I will say hello to people as we go in. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to talk about your success story, this is open house. It's for you. We'll do it as long as we can and as long as I can see. I wanted to share this with you today. This was posted up in the Facebook group. And I just thought it was a really good thing to share. This is Jane's story, although it's not her real name. If you're a member of the secret Facebook group, you'll know what her real name is, but I just thought I'd change it for secrecy's sake. I thought I'd go through it with you today because it's good to hear these stories. So Jane says, wow, it's been a while since I've posted. Life keeps trucking along at warp speed. I'm happy to say that on February the 15th, I achieved 1 year alcohol-free. I never thought in a million years that I'd be able to give up alcohol. Here I am. I prefer to use the term alcohol-free because it speaks more to choice and being liberated from something than saying sober. I feel like saying I'm sober. I feel like saying I'm sober. I feel diseased or I was broken or something. Just my interpretation of the term. I'm not sure I've shared my story and how I got here. I hope maybe it can help someone at whatever stage of their journey they are at. I've known for a few years that I needed to stop drinking. For many of the things in my life that weren't going well, alcohol was undoubtedly a factor. I'll never forget a year ago, I surprised my best friend for her birthday. We all went for a nice dinner and a dance, and the poison began as it had umpteen times before. I started with a few beers while I was getting ready, then a beer before dinner, wine with dinner, more wine after dinner at different locations, then more wine back at my hotel, with the night ending with me passing out and not remembering my friends leaving my hotel room. Before we all got wasted, my friends talked about how they were going to take a break from alcohol starting February the 15th for a month. If either one of them broke the commitment, they would have to give the other $100. I thought, well, maybe I'll join them. The following day, I woke up with one of the top 5 hangovers of my life. I called the hotel to see if I could stay another night, as I was so hungover, the thought of doing anything, let alone traveling home, seemed impossible. My day was misery. After enduring a 2-day hangover, I decided that I would take a break and join my friends. I didn't tell them I joined them, I just did. I didn't tell anyone I was going to take a break from alcohol, as I didn't want to answer questions about it or have to tell someone I'd failed if I didn't make it. I listened to alcohol lie to me a few times, and many aspects of it spoke to me and connected with me. In the beginning, it was challenging. The social part was hard. Drinking was something I did socially for over a decade. I dug into Craig's program about a week in and took the plunge. I paid the money, got the program, and I'm so glad I did. I feel like the hypnosis helped me. The program really made me look at what was going on in my life and what would happen if I didn't take action. I'm about to turn 40 this year, and I could not bear the thought that I was spending my time getting blacked out, wasted, or being hungover for 2 days. I was a beer and wine drinker, and most often socially. I found having non-alcoholic beer and wine on the ready helped me huge with the social aspect of drinking. I feel like I'm having a beer at the end of the day without automatically craving another, which leads to another, and off we go. Or having a glass of wine with dinner, but again, not getting drunk and not being hungover. A few things stood out for me over the year being alcohol-free. I know I've said these in other posts, but they rang true for me. The bad old days. 1, for years, the first thing I would think about when I woke up in the morning is, how bad do I feel? Immediately, I would start doing a scan of my body, questioning and gauging to what level of hangover I was dealing with. Headache, how bad? Tummy and guts, how bad? Memory of what happened, how bad? Sinking feeling in my stomach, what did I say or do? How bad? What cocktail of things do I need to start feeling better? Think about this for a second. What a crappy way to start a day. With alcohol not being a factor, all of this is now eliminated. The stress of it is gone. It's not even a thought that needs to be had. 2, the constant pretending not to be as drunk as I was, always wondering if people can tell. Are you hiding it well enough? Gone. Not a thing anymore. 3, the constant planning of what to drink, in what order to divert the hangover. Gone. Not a thing anymore. 4, the control over what you say and do. It's fantastic not having to question or regret what you said or do or remember. 5, way better sleep. Oh my God. 6, the money saved. 7, overall health and mind clarity. 8, recognition and observation of how dramatically people's personality and energy change when alcohol has been added, and the relief that I'm not a part of it anymore. What got me through the times when I had the urge to drink was playing forward how the day or night would go if I drank, asking myself if I wanted to deal with all the things mentioned above. The asking myself how I want to feel the next day. Will drinking allow me to feel that way? Asking myself, do I want to throw away all this time that I've been alcohol-free? For what? Deciding to remove alcohol from my life was the scariest and best decision I've ever made. And so far, it's the most extended commitment I have made to myself for myself. It shifted my life into living genuinely and has made many aspects much more straightforward. There is more space and energy for things that truly matter. What happened 1 minute ago, a week ago, a month ago doesn't matter. There is nothing in this world that can change it. You do have the ability to make a decision and a choice at this moment and from now on. So there you go. That's Jane's story. And it was such a good account of where she's been and where she is now. And she touched on so many things that I agree with, that I just wanted to share it with you. And I just thought it always helps to hear of other people who've been in your position and found their way out of it. So that's kind of why I wanted to share that with you. And let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about Jane's journey? Does it sound like your own? Do you understand where she was coming through, what she was worried about, and the benefits that she arrived at? Love to hear your point of view of it. So while I've been rambling on, people have been commenting and I've been missing them. So let's have a look here. RV Man, live from New York, eyes wide shut. There will be soon. Hampshire. Okay. Good to have you on board, Kelly. Welcome. Nurse Babs is in Pennsylvania. Welcome. We've got Scrap from Mexico. Jim is on board. Hey, Jim. Welcome. Lord Farquaad's managed to wake up early. He's here. It's good. We got Tracy McCrae from Rochdale. I got sent on an advanced driving course in Rochdale about 10 years ago, because I had some points on my license, Tracy, and the company I was working for said, well, if you've got points on your license, you have to go on a special dangerous drivers course. It was all around Rochdale. Kathy Ann, 10 days today. 10 days is good. You're approaching the end of the kick, Kathy. So once you get past that 2-week point, if you get the urge to drink, just remember, as purely psychological conditioning. It's got nothing to do with alcohol. Victoria in Florida, reading the Evil Clown book. Keep writing. Thank you. Alicia Martinez, hello. I'm in South Carolina. Absolutely enjoy your podcast. Still struggling. I always find an excuse to drink. Yeah, you mean the clown finds an excuse to drink. That's, it's kind of day one of the course, is separate yourself from the addiction. This is not you. This is, you've invited a rogue tenant to live in your head. And he's a very poor quality tenant and he won't leave. And you can't get rid of him, but what you can do is squash him down so he's not very powerful and his voice is very quiet. But it's good to have you here. I think that, this weekly session that we do is helpful and important because it just means it's an appointment in the diary. You're never more than 1 week away from us all getting together and just being together and saying, let's stay sober. That's what this is all about. Philip. First, I used to love gaming as a child, but when I started drinking, I only played my games when I was drinking. Now I don't. It's a strange thing, isn't it? Alcohol is always given as accompaniment to excitement, to happiness, to joy. Whereas if you think about that, it doesn't make any sense because it's an anesthetic. So it actually depreciates your ability to be aware of joy, to be aware of happiness, to be aware of nice, good things happening. You think about, I used to work as a wedding photographer and I used to watch this weird thing happen. The bride would be super nervous, super excited, been building up to this day for so long. And someone would respond to seeing her like this by putting a big glass of whiskey in her hand or a big glass of vodka and saying, drink that, that'll sort you out. And I'm thinking, isn't that just the worst thing you could do? Here's a day that this woman has planned for years, maybe even since she was a child. Such expectation, such excitement, such happiness. And then at the moment when you're about to enjoy it, someone gives you an anesthetic that takes away your ability to be fully present. It's almost cruel, isn't it? And it's true of, lots of things. There'll be things that you like to do that you incorporated alcohol into, and now, you weren't present for them, which is another thing that alcohol steals from you. Someone put on Facebook the other day in response to the title of my book, Alcohol Lied to Me. They put, don't be ridiculous. It's what a stupid title for a book. It's our body. We'll make our own choices. But it's not true, is it? Nobody chooses to have a drinking problem. Nobody says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend 20 years of my life drinking poison until I get to the point where I can't stop. It's not a choice. That's the whole point, isn't it? It's a devious, nasty, narcissistic drug that takes really good, loving, caring people and breaks their life. And it's upsetting that people can't see that. Slavi is here as usual, and it's good to have you, Slavi. You're very welcome. Tracy is on board. Over 2.5 years since I had a drink. Wow. Best thing I've ever done. Good to hear that. Good to hear that confirmation from as many people as possible. Jules, 12 years alcohol-free and loving life, now an elite cyclist. Wow. I went for a cycle ride with my friend Andrew this morning, Jules. There's nothing elite about it. My ass still hurts. Todd H, hello from California. Good to have you here, Todd. Sue Barnes is on board from Arizona. Garp's done 15 days. Well done. Great to wake up and not wonder what I did last night. Exactly. Donna, online. Craig, you're such a force. Eminently, thank you. Thankful that you offer constantly and consistently. Huge fan, huge believer. Thank you, Donna. I'm struggling to read because of my eye problem, but don't worry. KB said, oh, I relate to that, trying to hide my level of intoxication and wondering if anyone is noticing. Isn't that one of the most horrible feelings when you know you're drunk, but you have to try and demonstrate that you're not drunk? You know, maybe it's, you know, someone from work calls you or something like that. Your boss calls you and you try desperately to come across as sober, but it's almost impossible to do, isn't it? And you can hear it yourself. You can hear yourself sounding drunk, and it's just the most frustrating thing. We've all been there, haven't we? John Stone, do you smoke weed? No. I'm not against it, you know. Not really against it, as long as you're not substituting one addiction with another. You know, there's no point giving up drinking and then starting up smoking weed because you haven't dealt with the problems that were underneath that caused you to drink. It's just they're very, very strict on drugs here in Cyprus. You go to prison for smoking weed here in Cyprus. It's crazy strict. KB said Jane's story very powerful. I agree. Vikas, Facebook group name. If you just go on Facebook and search for Stop Drinking Experts, you should find it. The secret group is for people who've done the course or bought the book or bought the audio book or something like that. So do one of those and then you're entitled to be a member of the secret group. You can also join the chat on Telegram as well. If you're a user of Telegram, go to the app and search for Stop Drinking Expert. You should find it. Lindsay. How do we talk to our kids about alcohol without sounding preachy? My son is 12, but I started drinking when I was 15. It would break me if he went down the same dark path as I did. Yeah. We've talked about this before, and it's especially with teenagers. It's not really about what you say. It's about what you do. I think that's much more important because I remember my parents preaching to me about not doing drugs and, you know, not drinking too much. But then I kind of grew up watching my mom drink quite heavily. So you could argue that the words didn't really make any impact on me, did they? Because I still ended up going down that path. It made no impact. I heard them, but often at that age, it's not what you say, it's what you witness. And so by quitting drinking, Lindsay, you might not realize it, but there are so many situations that in the past you would have turned to alcohol to deal with. You know, when you were stressed, when you had a bad day, when somebody died, when something good happened, you know, your kids will see you connecting all these things to alcohol. And while they might not verbalize it, they might not even consciously or be aware of what's happening, subconsciously, they're going, okay, so the way you deal with grief is alcohol. The way you deal with a job promotion is alcohol. It's all going in there. And then when they get older, they try and play the role, you know, they play the role of what they think an adult is. Because we don't get a guidebook when we're born, do we? We become adults without really knowing how to be an adult. So we just try and do what we think we're supposed to. So it's not really what you say. It's just keep demonstrating that no matter how bad life gets, no matter how many curveballs you get thrown, you never get tempted to use alcohol to deal with it. Because think about it like this. Your son's 12, did you say? Imagine, you know, when your son's 20, he comes to you and he says, Mom, life's really tough at the moment. You know, I'm really struggling. I've decided I'm going to take up drinking. You wouldn't say, that's a great idea. Oh, fantastic. Yeah, that's really going to help you out, would you? You wouldn't say that. Well, you know, if you've been drinking heavily in front of him, then you're a bit of a hypocrite, aren't you? Because he's going to think, well, you did it. And if it's such a bad idea, why did you do it? And you know, and the other way around, if it's such great advice, why are you giving it to your child but not accepting it yourself? So it's not a perfect answer, but just keep doing what you're doing and keep leading by example, basically. Kathy says she can completely relate. Love waking up without a hangover. Philip says, my son is due to complete his PhD next week and wants to take us out for a meal. I feel like I should have a glass of wine with my wife and son. That would be all, but I'd rather not. You know how it goes, Philip. You may only want one glass of wine, but that's not your decision. You can choose to have the glass of wine or not. That's the only decision you get. Whether you continue drinking after that will not be your choice. That will be the choice of the tenant who lives in your head, who you've just woken up by giving him a big glass of fuel. So it's just not worth it, because you're basically setting up a series of options. It's a sliding doors moment. You know that movie? That glass of alcohol can completely change the direction of your life. Maybe you don't have one glass of wine. Maybe you have two, maybe you have three, maybe you have four. Maybe the next day you say, hey, well, I only had one and I seem to be able to resist the second. So maybe I can start socially drinking. And I just trust me on this, no matter what avenue you go down after that, apart from the sobriety avenue, you're going to be miserable. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it, honestly. And I think you find that your son doesn't really need you to have a glass of wine. It's just this, the clown has picked up on something here. It's like when my son turned 18, the clown in my head, he said, well, 18 years you've been his father, and it's kind of a tradition that you go and, you have a pint of beer with your son when he becomes legal age to drink. It's nonsense. My son has not been saying for 18 years, oh, I can't wait to be 18, Dad, and then we're going to have a pint together. He wouldn't have cared if we didn't do that. It's just this, the clown picks up on something that it thinks it can get you with, and often it can. Kelly, alcohol-free enables me to be awake enough to get a new puppy. Okay. Never buy puppies when you're asleep. That's true. And 13 days for me. Good. Keep going. Make it 2 weeks tomorrow. RV Man says, congratulations to everybody here. And I echo that. Even if you're not even sober, the fact that you're turning up is a positive thing. Alpa, how can I manage social pressure for drinking alcohol if your social environment drinks constantly? It's mindset, really, because it's not, if you think about it, it's not really the social pressure. It's not really the environment, because you will have been to parties in the past where the people have been doing other drugs. You may even know people who do other drugs, and you've not been tempted to join them. I mean, think about it. If you imagine you went into work one day and the office was full of 10, 12 people, and they were all sniffing glue. And they said to you, Alpa, come on over and sniff some glue with us. You wouldn't feel, I'm hoping you wouldn't feel pressured to go, yeah, okay, I'm in, I'm doing the glue. You would think, why would I don't want to do that? No, thanks, not for me, you'd say, and you'd walk away, wouldn't you? It's just we create this artificial reality with alcohol. And often we use these social things as a justification. It's like a get out of jail free card. Well, I wanted to stay sober, but, and then you trot out some highly plausible and highly logical explanation, like I live in an environment where everyone drinks. I've got people who've done my course who work in bars, and every night, probably 25 times a night, someone says to them, and you have one yourself, and they still stay sober because it's just not a part of who they are anymore. Dr. Danger, 20 days sober, and it's good. Excellent. Lord Farquhar, I am day 50. I felt so good when 30. I think that's what it says. Tracy, 5.5 months alcohol free. I didn't drink a lot, but didn't like who I was when I used alcohol. Yeah, exactly. And remember what I say, whether you have a problem with alcohol, whether you're a problem drinker or not, has got nothing to do with the quantity that you drink or the frequency that you drink. It's about, how does it make you feel? What's it doing to your life? I've helped people who are drinking very small amounts, tiny amounts. And And you almost laugh when they tell you, how much are you drinking? Oh, I drink 2 glasses of wine a week. You're like, oh, really? You're not putting the effort in. But then when you say, okay, so why do you want to stop drinking? They just say, I hate it. I hate this stuff. And I hate the fact that I can't not have 2 glasses of wine a week. Angela, I'm one of your non-drinking audience, never had an alcoholic beverage. I enjoy watching your videos and your message on the importance of sobriety. Interesting. Are you tempted, Angela? Is that why you're here? Or is this, tell us more about that. Why have you never had an alcoholic drink? Is it just not a part of, maybe you grew up with completely teetotal parents, that sort of thing? Interesting though. And good to have you here. Bim, I'm 31. I've always been a problem drinker. Prolapsed disc in my back last April. I've really struggled with alcohol since. Can't work, can't play sport. I'm really depressed. Yeah. We haven't, well, look, Bim, how you frame your reality in your mind is important. And we talked about this with Andrew. If you go to the YouTube channel and you scroll back a few weeks, we had a guy on called Andrew Bridgewater. He's an expert in depression and low mood and that sort of stuff. And we talked a lot about situations are never bad or good. They are kind of your interpretation of them. We view them through our own lens. That's why we can both look at the same situation and you can say, this is terrible. And I can look at it and say, no, this is fantastic. Yeah. So it's important that you use the language to support the direction you want to go in. And you say that you've always been a problem drinker. That's not true, is it? Because unless you were born with a bottle of beer in your hand, there was a period of your life where alcohol just did not enter into your life, and you probably had fun and amazing times without it. You learned to be a problem drinker at some point in your adulthood. So I understand you're in a tricky situation because you have an injury and you're kind of trapped. All I can tell you is when life gets tough, when life throws you a curveball, if you want to get out of that situation or if you want to move to a better place, the main thing that will stop you doing that is alcohol. Alcohol will keep you trapped in limbo. You might not get any worse. Your back might not get any worse. Your drinking might not get any worse. But if you've got alcohol in your life when you're going through a tough time, you'll not get out of it. You'll stay stuck. When you get the alcohol out, this thing up here gets a bit creative. You take the brakes off and it has the ability to say, okay, life's changed. How do we change with it? How do we shift? How do we move? How do we progress forward? But as long as you keep drinking anesthetic, it's not going to get any better. So job 1, get the alcohol out of your life. Do the course if you need to. Job 2, work on that depression issue. And my friend Andrew can help you with that. He'll even do a free session with you. So go find that video with Andrew Bridgewater and get in touch with him once you've got the alcohol nailed. Yeah. Kelly. Oh yes. The last wedding I went to, the bride was so drunk, I guess. Talk about ruining a wedding with alcohol. When I was working as a wedding photographer, the bride and groom both went out the night before the wedding, which is something I always used to advise them not to do. But they went out and they got absolutely hammered. They were drinking yards of ale. They were drinking shots. And the bride refused to get dressed until I went out and got a McDonald's breakfast, because she said it was the only thing that was going to get her through the day. So she had a complete temper tantrum, wouldn't put her dress on, wouldn't put her makeup on, sat in her hotel room, sulking with a major hangover until I went and got her a McDonald's. Then when we got to the altar and the registrar was about to bless the marriage, the groom had to go behind the desk where the registrar was and vomit into a bucket, because he had alcohol poisoning. He looked terrible. Can you imagine that? You plan a wedding for like 3 years, and then on that big day, alcohol ruins it. It was just carnage. And I've seen a lot of those things being a wedding photographer. Let's have a look. Leslie Black. Hi, Craig. 15 11.5 months, no booze, but lately lots of non-alcoholic beer and wine. I gathered it up to return today. I feel like it's replacing the booze, the negatives without the bad consequences. Should I be concerned? I don't want to drink booze now. I feel this is controlling me. SOS, Leslie. Look, opinions vary on alcohol-free stuff. Some people think it's a trigger. Some people think it's not. I think you're right to get rid of it, because the fact that you're thinking about it a lot and you're questioning it means it probably is an issue for you. Where I think alcohol-free products are really useful is if you're at a party or something like that. It's so nice to be able to stand with a bottle of alcohol-free beer in your hand, because people just assume it's normal beer generally, and it stops them pestering you. Also, it feels a bit more like a grown-up drink, you know? You don't want to drink Coca-Cola and orange juice because it's so sweet and so sickly. You have one and you just don't want any more. Whereas you can stand with an alcohol-free beer, and because it's kind of, it's more of a, what's the word, savory taste. You can have a little bit more than you probably would normally. I think that's where alcohol-free stuff has its place. But I know from my experience, if I have a cupboard full of alcohol-free beer, I'll drink it all within like a week. So we don't buy it very often. I think maybe once every 3 months, something like that. So I think you're doing the right thing. Just double down on, on your reasons why you like being sober. You don't have to kick it out of your life, this alcohol-free stuff. I would just keep it for social occasions. It's probably for the best. Jimmy's on day 2. Well done, Jimmy, and well done for turning up. David Wainwright, I'm approaching 100 days thanks to the new alcohol tag. Alcohol tag? Oh, I see. Monitors sweat through your skin, and one drink and I'm back in court. Wow. Part of my punishment for drink driving is due to come off on April 6th. So, David, what will you do on April 7th? That's the question. Has your opinion of alcohol changed? Or are you planning to drink on April 7th? That'd be very interesting to hear your take on that. I can't say your name. That looks like a Turkish name. Am I right? Forgive me. I'm struggling today because I have this problem with my eye. 1 week sober today. Mood change. Workouts are better. Sleeping better. Skin better. Great mood. Love it. Fantastic. Hey, Craig, do you think alcohol makes getting old faster? Yeah, well, alcohol takes time off your life. There's some calculation, isn't there? That it's something like a pack of cigarettes takes a couple of hours off your life. And there's another one that's comparable to drinking alcohol. If you drink heavily for decades, like 20 years, you're probably going to take 10 years off your life at least. I'm 48 now. I know 3 people who died under the age of 50 because of their drinking. So it's going to shorten your life, and it's going to go by in a blink as well, because a lot of the time you're going to be in some sort of alcoholic comatose. Miko, 6 weeks sober now. Much thanks to you, Craig, and Kevin O'Hara. I see videos from you and him every day. I've always been curious. What do you think about Kevin's method in his channel? I don't know his method. I've seen him a few times. He's the Irish guy, isn't he? And he used to do videos walking. He used to go walking and record a video. And I always used to be envious of him doing that, because I can't multitask. I just turn into a gibbering fool. He's very laid back. He's very calming. Maybe we should. I was thinking about him the other day. I was thinking maybe we should interview each other. I should interview Kevin for my channel, and he should interview me. So maybe you should post a comment up on his YouTube channel and mention that I mentioned him, and let's see if we can get together and have a chat. Because I'm sure we have a lot of shared values, but I guess we'll also have unique ways of approaching things as well. Let's have a look. Lewis, hi Craig, coming up on 2 months sober. I've learned to understand how horrible alcohol is. It led me to believe that I was anxious and depressed, but that's gone since I stopped. Yeah, it's that very common justification for drinking. I drink because I have anxiety. Yeah, but you have anxiety because you drink. It's part of that trap, isn't it? That's how alcohol gets you. I can't get to sleep without alcohol. Well, okay, drink the alcohol and now you're not going to sleep very well. So you're going to be very tired. And then the clown's going to pop up again and say, I can help you with your sleep problem. It just goes round and round and round and round. Cynthia from Alabama, just free from the 21st of September, my second attempt to stay sober. Keep going. Jim, alcohol-free since June 2018. Sobriety is amazing. Listen to Jim. He knows what he's talking about. Trish, greetings from Florida, day 21, and Jane's journey resonates with me. I think the supplementation really helps. Your program and hypnosis have helped me find forgiveness and self-love. Thanks, Craig. So important, that self-love. So many people drinking because they're full of negative views of themselves. They're full of regret and remorse, guilt, and self-hatred. You got to love yourself. You got to learn to do that. Victoria, is drinking alcohol more behavioral or genetic? I think it's behavioral. I think it's a learned problem. There are people that say it's hereditary, and if you grew up with alcoholic parents, then you've got a dramatically increased chance of having an alcohol problem yourself. And I think that's true, but I tend to think that it's more down to social conditioning than genetics. The fact that during a very impressionable period of your life, when you didn't have the critical thinking to question the behavior that you were seeing from other people, you just took it as read that you need alcohol to have a party, you need alcohol to relax, you need alcohol to do this and that. And so you learned it from your parents generally. So I think it's more behavioral, Victoria. But it kind of doesn't matter, really, because what does it matter? You've got a problem. It doesn't matter how you got it. It's almost counterintuitive to say it's hereditary, because then you've got something to blame, haven't you? I've got a drinking problem, but it's not my fault. It's not my problem. Can't do anything about it. It's like a disease. I can't cure it. Got it off my mum and dad. You know what I mean? Lee. Hey, Craig, just want to say thank you. I'm still struggling, but I'm getting better and won't ever give up. You nailed it, Lee. That's the secret to success. I say this to my kids all the time. The secret to getting anything you want in life, whether that's money, sobriety, promotion, the man or woman of your dreams, is to never, ever stay down on the mat. No matter how hard life hits you and knocks you on your back, get back up immediately and start walking towards that goal. Never, ever stay down on the mat. That's always been my policy on everything. And thank you for got your book last week. Love it. Good man. Let's see what else we got here. Richard Lawson, keep saving lives, Craig. Yours is the voice of reason concerning that legal poison. Thank you for the comment, Richard, and thank you for being here. Brad David, it's scary how powerful the alcohol industry is. In America, they basically bribe our politicians. How corrupt is that? Not just America. European Union was planning to put cancer warning labels on bottles of alcohol. Suddenly, and without explanation, has decided not to do that. Why? Has alcohol stopped giving people cancer? No. So why would they do that? I don't know, but it seems a bit suspicious, doesn't it? Sharon, hi, 1 month sober, feeling fab after reaching 40 months October last year. Your book got me started. Thank you from Preston, Lancashire. Sharon, I lived in Preston for 5 years, I think. Both my children were born at Sharrow Green Hospital, which I believe is not there anymore. Richard Lawson says, casinos serve free alcohol for a reason. Exactly. People make worse decisions while drunk. Yeah. I mean, it's perfect for a casino, isn't it? It's just What do you want? Do you want really sensible people who are aware of how much they've lost? Or do you want really stupid people who think that they can chase their losses and keep playing and end up a winner? Perfect. RV Man, when are you going to appear on late night talk shows? Well, I go to bed at 9:30, so it might be difficult, but when they invite me. Philip Lane, I don't drink anymore. I'm practically vegan and I have some Bitcoin. Well, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. One day, Philip, you'll be a millionaire because of your Bitcoin ownership, but maybe not for a while. Let's have a look. Johnny Cola. On the beautiful sunny 13th of July, 2018, I was on a train quite hungover. I had a can of fridge temperature cider. I got a text saying an old mate died from having one too many. Finished the drink, last one. Good story, Johnny. Glad you made that decision. Let's have a look. Who else we got here? Lord Farquhar, setting goals like I'm going sober until St. Paddy's Day, good. Well, yeah, why not? Why not? I hesitated because I was thinking about my friend Sharon. Sharon said, I'm doing 1 month sober. And then she got to the end of 1 month and went, you know what? I like this so much. I'm going to do 2 months sober. And then it rolled on from there. And I also have another friend here in Cyprus called Steve, who's been sober for 6 years. And he did exactly the same thing. He said, I'm just going to do dry January and see how I feel. And it rolled on from there from 6 years after that. So for some people, I think it works. But then it depends. It's all mindset, isn't it? Because if you say, all right, I'm going to do a month off the alcohol, unless you change your perception of what alcohol is, you're just going to spend the whole month daydreaming of that day that you're allowed to drink again. It's not enough to just say, I'm doing 1 month sober, because I did that 100 times, you know? I did, all right, I'm going sober for a week. And what happened after a week? It was like an alarm bell went off and I just went, Ray, I can go back to drinking. I did what I said I was going to do. So it's not enough on its own, but I think, you know, you need more than that, but generally it's a harmless thing to do. Anata, sorry. 55 days today because of your course. Thank you. And congratulations. Well done. Big A. I've been sober 2.5 years, and it's all down to this man. Biggest thing I learned was to be active and have things to do after 5 p.m. I was a little frantic at first, but that's what it took. Yeah, it's good advice, Big A. You get used to it, you know? Initially, it seems terrifying. It seems horrible. It's like, oh my God, there's so many hours in the day. How am I going to keep myself busy? Now, these days, I have this weird sensation that if I ever had to get a proper job, there wouldn't be enough hours in the day to fit everything I need to do into it. It's like the days have now absorbed the time. Weird, huh? Leslie, hi, Craig. Not sure if my questions are going through. Yeah, we answered that, Leslie. Hopefully you heard it. Hopefully you heard it. Let's have a look. Leave views. I'm scared to tell my fiance how much I've been drinking. She knows I have a problem, but not to the extent. Why do you need to tell her, though? Do you need to go into the specifics? Do you need to be told off by someone? I think you should just focus on how it makes you feel and why you want to stop. Because if you go into the details of, I've been drinking a bottle of vodka a day, you're going to feel pretty shitty about yourself because you're going to shock her. She's going to be like, oh my God, you can't drink again. And then you're going to feel that pressure, aren't you? I would think it'd be much more healthy just to sit down with her and say, look, I've got a bit of a problem with alcohol. I want to explain to you how bad it is for me. This is how it makes me feel. This is how it's damaging my life. I absolutely hate it. I need your help. If you ever hear me suggesting I can have one drink, or I can just have a glass of champagne, or, understand that I'm in a very bad place and something terrible is about to happen. And at that point, as my partner, as my fiance, I need you to jump in and give me all the support and guidance you can give me, because I'm about to make a stupid mistake. So rather than concentrating on beating yourself up and getting told off, and confessing your sins, Lee, I would make this a bit more proactive and a bit more helpful. Explain how it makes you feel, why you absolutely cannot go back, and tell your fiance how she can help you so she can get actively involved in the process. Operation Lull. I haven't touched alcohol in 11 months, but smoke weed occasionally. I thought I had an addictive personality, but although I enjoy the occasional joint, I'm not addicted to it. I don't think there is such a thing as an addictive personality, Operation Lull, because that implies that the problem is with you and not with the highly addictive substance that you're taking. If you had an addictive personality, you would be addicted to everything, wouldn't you? You'd be addicted to water. You'd be like drinking 10 pints of water. I can't help it. I've got an addictive personality. I think that's just something that people say as an excuse. I've lost a load of money at the casino. I smoked 40 cigarettes because I've got an addictive personality. No, you're a gambling addict and you're a nicotine addict. So I don't think it really exists. Slavi says, the things that help me is knowing when the thought of having a drink comes, is knowing that whatever the clown says is a lie. Yeah. The evil clown is basically a politician that lives in your head. Let's have a look what we got here. Sue Barnes. We've been conned to believe that celebrating with a glass of addictive diluted industrial cleaner is a good thing, yet people won't take a life-saving vaccine. The funniest thing I saw in the middle of the pandemic, we have a little shop here in the village I live in, and they bring in illegal, I guess, cigarettes from the Turkish side of Cyprus. So they're about half the price you would normally pay for a packet of cigarettes. So everyone comes to our village to buy big cartons of cigarettes. And there was this woman in the shop, and she was dressed head to toe in a rubber like coat. She had a mask on. She had gloves on. She was obviously completely paranoid about COVID. And she walked up to the counter and said, 200 Benson and Hedges, please. 200 cigarettes. And I thought, do you care about your health or not? She was so scared about catching COVID, and yet she was buying 200 cancer sticks to smoke. It was the weirdest, funniest thing I ever saw. Tracy, I've only ever had 1 month off alcohol. At the time I came across you, Craig Beck, you changed everything. Alan Carr got me off cigarettes in 2007. You got me off alcohol. You are brilliant. Thank you, Tracy. And if anyone watching is still smoking, go to my YouTube channel, go to the live videos of the past, go back about 2 weeks. We had a stop smoking expert on with some great advice, actually from Alan Carr's Easy Way. Zach Mallows, I wasted 25 years drinking alcohol. Yeah, I'm with you, Zach. I did as well. I talk about in the book how I didn't like the label alcoholic because I was a successful man. I was the director of a couple of multi-million-pound companies. I was thinking about this the other day. Imagine what I would have been if I hadn't been drinking. Imagine how much more successful I would have been if I hadn't been drinking poison every night. I never thought about that before. All those years I spent, struggling with money, having a good job, but never quite having enough money to last the month. And I wonder just, how much of that was caused by alcohol. Oh, Angela says the reason she's never had a drink of alcohol is my dad is a drinker, but I never liked the taste of alcohol and its detrimental effects. So I made the conscious decision not to drink. That's very mature. And I'm a little bit jealous. Turkish Jade Think about how amazing this conversation is. Extraordinary, really. It wasn't allowed just 20 years. Fantastic. Thank you. Welcome, Turkish Jade. Angelini, 8 months sober now, not going back. It's poison. You are quite right. Let's have a look. How long have we been doing? We're on 50 minutes. We'll wrap up soon. Let's see if there's any great questions we can throw in. Becky Sheldon, do you know anything about naltrexone and if it's any good? It's the drug behind the Sinclair method, Becky. I used to be staunchly against it because I tried it. And for me personally, the side effects of the drug were so horrific that I couldn't take it. I knew if I took an naltrexone tablet, it would give me something much worse than a hangover. So then you're back into the realms of willpower. How do you force yourself to take a tablet that's going to make you feel terrible on a long-term basis? You know, the principle behind naltrexone is you take it an hour before you start drinking, and it acts as an opioid inhibitor. So it means that you drink, you get drunk, you feel terrible, but you don't get any of the buzz, you don't get any of the uplift. And the theory is, and it's called extinction theory, is as long as you take the tablet and you keep drinking, eventually you'll get to the point where you think, why am I doing this? All I get is negative, I get no positive, and apparently you get bored with drinking. It doesn't really change your underlying belief structure around the drug. You still believe that it helps you relax, that it helps you socialize, that it helps you with this and it helps you with that. It's just, you know, that you're taking a tablet that's stopping it doing that. So my problem with it is it might get you sober, but then what's going to happen when you hit one of those road bumps, you know, those bumps in the road where something bad happens and you've still got that belief structure that alcohol helps with grief or alcohol helps with losing your job. So what I tend to say to people is, look, if you've tried my way, you've done the course and you got sober and then you fell off the wagon and you just need something to get you back on the wagon, then why not? But you need to go and do that through a doctor. There are now clinics that offer naltrexone prescription and monitoring services. It's quite expensive. There's one in London. And I think you pay something like £500 for the consultation, and then you pay £50 a month for the prescription. So it's quite expensive, but you know, you might be able to find something cheaper, but don't do it like I did it. Don't, you know, buy dodgy drugs from India and then try and do it on your own. You'll end up killing yourself. Get some good medical advice. Julie Wills, it's an amazing program. Thank you, Julie. Your endorsement means a lot. Let's see what we got here. My eye is killing me, you know. I don't know what I've done. I think I just got shampoo in my eye. The bottle of dog shampoo exploded and went in my eye, and it's absolute agony now. Florica Dunker, I will never forget me and my ex-husband because we lost our children's childhood because of alcohol. Yeah, me too. Me too. And it really cuts deep, that. My kids are grown-ups now. My daughter is 20 years old, doing really well, works in a pharmacy. My son is 25 this year. He's doing his master's degree in San Francisco. But when I think back to their childhood, I miss so much of it, you know. I was there, just not, you know, mentally there. JR, hello, Craig. Great to see you on these live shows. This is making the world a better place. Hey, don't we need that at the moment? What a stressful time to be living. Kat Obi, I don't drink anymore. You reinforced it by mentioning an evil politician in your head. What more incentive does one need? Yeah, it's true, isn't it? Turning Tree, your remark that people who erroneously believe that wine is good for the heart should drink grape juice actually inspired me to try grape juice. Delicious, highly recommended. Yeah, you see, you can post that on Facebook and nobody will like it, but you can post red wine is good for the heart and you'll get 1 million likes. Crazy, isn't it? Let's have a look. Sharon, have you seen a recent alcohol? I guess there's an advert, is it? Have you seen a recent alcohol advert running in the UK for a make of wine where it shows very fit people exercising, trekking, and enhancing this activity with wine? Hilarious. Yeah. It doesn't shock me. Who is ringing me in the middle of a live stream? Someone from Dallas, Texas, almost certainly a scammer. Let's just mute that. Let's have a look. Lee Volmer. Craig, make sure you don't have pink eye. It just started today, Lee. You know, I think it's from the shampoo anyway. Doesn't matter. Okay, look, we're going to wrap up there because that's 55 minutes, and I think that'll do. I'm going to go and deal with my eye problem. Sorry, it was a bit of an issue today. Hope these weekly sessions are helpful and you get some value out of them. I think it helps that we all come together and just support each other. If you just sat and watched this time, next time, why don't you join in with the comments? Let us know how you're doing, where you are on your journey. And absolutely feel free to come on here and boast and crow how many days sober you are. Why not? This is a safe space to do it. We're all in the same boat. There is no judgment at all in this channel or on my course. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And don't forget, new videos every day, or roughly every day, at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thanks a lot. See you soon.
Thank you for watching. Before you leave, click that subscribe button and ring the bell so you get a notification when I next make a video. And if you're ready to take action on your drinking, go to stopdrinkingexpert.com. You'll find lots of free help and resources. And of course, the world's most successful and respected quit drinking program. Easy for me to say, but do your own research, and the story is the same no matter where you look. Proven Expert rates us 5 stars, excellent, from 1,566 verified reviews. Trustpilot says the same, 5 stars, from 1,450 verified reviews. Reviews.io, 5 stars. It's the same everywhere you look. So if you want something that actually works, sign up for today's free quit drinking webinar. Book your place, and you'll even get a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as a free gift just for turning up. Remember, the best time to have quit drinking was 10 years ago. The next best time is right now.